And we're live, I think. I think we're live. We're here to talk about Ratchet and Clank. Very important notice. Check out the title. It says spoilers, exclamation point. We are going to be spoiling the crap out of Ratchet and Clank 2016 from start to finish. All of it. Jay Davies says we're live. Confirmed. I am your host, Joel Willis. This is the Video Game Book Club for Channel 3. We just finished Ratchet and Clank 2016, and we're here to discuss it. With me is special guest and Ratchet and Clank connoisseur, Infocynic. What's up, man? How are you?
No pressure. No pressure. Yeah, great to be here, Joel.
Dude, I'm going to make you look so good. You will look like such a connoisseur next to me. I am a Ratchet and Clank idiot. What did you say before we start? So easy a Wombax could do it.
so easy a Lombax could do it.
Wombax, all right.
Yeah.
Off to a good start. To a good start. All right. How are you? Are you ready to talk about Ratchet and Clank?
I am always ready to talk about Ratchet and Clank. These are fabulous games. And we're going to talk about the 2016 HD remake of the OG Ratchet and Clank.
So, like, I told you this before we went live, but I really have no context. Normally, when I play a game or read a book or watch a movie, after I will look up the history of it, and I'll learn about, like, you know, culturally what was going on when it was made, who were the people who made it, what is the history of it. I did not do that for this, and I want you to enlighten me. Like, I read a little bit about it on Channel 3. And so I know that, like, there was a movie that came out the same year and stuff, but, like, other than that, like, I don't know crap. I even saw it said the 15th installment. How is that possible? Tell us everything you know.
I'll tell you everything. So I'll tell you what I know, which is not everything, but I'll tell you what I know. So the Ratchet and Clank series goes back to PS2 era originally, and I think there was like a trilogy of games where this was the first one, and then two more, and then I think on the PS3 they did another trilogy, and there are probably some spin-offs along the way because anytime a series gets popular, you gotta have like a million spin-offs. That's how it goes. And then suddenly, you know, we're in this era of like Sony thinking that they should like do video game movies, and it's like I think 2016 they release this game in correspondence with the movie that's basically going to go through the movie's going to go through Ratchet kind of as an origin story more. This game kind of gets there, but the movie doesn't use the framing device that this game does, where you've got Captain Quark kind of narrating the whole thing.
Yeah, telling you the story. Was the movie popular? I don't remember it at all.
Probably among fans, but that's probably it. Video game movies, short of the Super Mario movie from last 2 years ago now? Boy, time. Video game movies not exactly the world's most popular thing.
Because my son was like 4 at the time. I would think this would be right in our wheelhouse, but I had no understanding that this was happening. So the movie came out. All right, so the movie wasn't the same story. Was the original game that this game was a remake of, was the story like roughly the same? Yeah,
so I don't remember. I don't think I did play. Maybe I played the PS2 version at one point. I'm trying to think. From what I remember of seeing, like I looked up some gameplay footage and just trying to remember, like, did I play this in the original version? And I think it's pretty much the same story. Like, just a fresh coat of paint, some nice quality of life as you do with the remake. Kind of inheriting some things that they had introduced later in the franchise. Like you said, it was 15th. Wow, that seems crazy, but I believe you.
I don't know. That's what it said.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
I'm sure that includes spinoffs and whatnot. All right, so the story.
Yeah, so it's basically following Ratchet. We're gonna see how this mechanic basically turns into an action hero.
Yeah, right. And before we started, you kind of jokingly said, like, of course, that's why you play. That's why you play the Ratchet and Clank is for the story.
Right. So the story is fine. The story is serviceable. It's funny. I mean, there's some pretty good writing in these games. Uh, so I gotta give some, it's like there's some great dialogue. There's some pretty funny zingers in there. Uh, the cast does a great job with the vocal recordings and playing off each other. Uh, this game doesn't get super deep into like Ratchet's lore. Uh, Not that there's a ton of deep lore, but some of the other games do get more into like, well, what's Ratchet's planet of origin? Where does he come from? Where are the other Lombaxes that his species? Where are they? And that becomes kind of a theme of some of the other games.
Well, you said that the movie is kind of a little bit of a precursor to that, right? Is that what it was about?
Yeah, the movie tries to also largely, I think, tries to follow the story of this game loosely, but again, they're trying to keep it somewhat lighter for the movie audience. And yeah, I have seen the movie once. It wasn't bad, but it was also like I have no desire to go see that again. If I want to, like, why would I watch the film of the movie of the game when I could just go play the game?
That's so. This is a hot take, but that's how I felt watching The Last of Us Part 1 on HBO. I don't know. Like I just finished playing the game, and it was so similar. At least the first couple episodes that I was like, I feel like I just did this. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
I need to actually like convince myself to actually play that game. That's a different topic, but
yeah,
that is a hole in my lineup.
All right, so your blind spot is The Last of Us, and mine is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
but now I've played this one.
All the Ratchet and Clank games, pretty much, they're gonna follow loosely the same formula. You're gonna travel from place to place. You're gonna pick up crazy weapons along the way.
Yeah,
and generally speaking, like the more you use the given weapon, the stronger that weapon gets. And that's kind of a mechanic that's been a staple of the series. And just the crazy amount and style of different weapons. Your typical shooter game, you might have all right, you've got your machine gun, shotgun, a sniper rifle, maybe some sort of like rocket launcher. Ratchet doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
Ratchet's got a flamethrower. He's got multiple different rocket launchers.
Yeah.
He's got the buzz blades, basically shooting just these ricocheting metal projectiles all over the place.
Yeah. You got a dance disco ball. You got
the Groovatron.
A robot on your shoulder that does stuff. You get the
Mr. Zircon
pixelator.
Serious staple there. Yes. Mr. Zircon is a serious staple.
Oh, okay. See, this is like these are the magical like cultural elements I'm missing of this series, where I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. When I was playing the game, and I'm really an annoying host for this particular discussion, because when I was playing it, I was like, this is like fine, but I could really see the appeal. But I'm like, I wish I would have like played this as a kid, and then I could see it just being entrancing. I don't know, but when I'm not a kid and I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't know. My mind starts wandering.
Yeah. I am trying to remember, because we talked about that a little bit pre-show, about where did I get into this series, and it would have been PS3 era already. So, well past my childhood, without providing a specific age that anyone on C3 could have just seen last week if they were paying attention. But anyway, and then I think through the magic of the backwards compatibility, I was able to play some of the PS2 era games as well, and they're just fun, light, kind of like popcorn games.
Yeah,
they're nothing you need to take too seriously. For anyone who somehow isn't familiar with me on C3, and hey, by the way, welcome. I do a lot of long, the joke is 100-hour RPGs. And sometimes it's nice to just do a palate cleanse with something that's like, yeah, a Ratchet game takes 10, 15 hours, maybe 20 if you want to go back and kind of do 100%. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's also good, like a level, a world, objective is pretty short. You
Yeah.
can knock that out in a setting in an evening, like an hour, maybe tops, for some of the really long ones, and feel like, yeah, I accomplished something. I got a new weapon.
Yeah.
I moved the plot forward. And that's always fun.
I
It's
did
nice
feel
just
that
to be
way
there.
too, and you're more of like a you're gonna platinum the game, right? Like you, a
Yeah,
completionist getting out collecting, and I could see the appeal. This game's great for that, right?
yeah. So this is a replay for me. I played this game back in 2016 when it first released, and picked it up again. It's like, sadly, this is just kind of weird thing. It's like pull up. It's like, wait a minute, there's no second save file. Like, how
I
do I do
remember. I remember
this?
you saying that. Yeah. So you had to wipe it
So
out, right? Or no? Did you use a different
I don't know.
profile?
Yeah, I used a different profile. I have a
Mm.
second profile on my PlayStation from messing around with stuff, and it's like I can just pull that up. I'll log into that one, and just had to remember to keep doing that anytime I wanted to go play. Sometimes I'd load up my normal profile and go in like, wait a minute, I'm at the end game. Nope.
Yeah. 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 Well, I like what you said about palate cleanser. I agree with that. You and I played Alan Wake in
Yeah.
parallel with each other, and then I also played Last of Us Part Two for Video Game Book Club. So going like from those games into this one, it was kind of like a little too palate cleansy for me. You know?
Yeah. So it's a bit of a swing from Alan Wake, although maybe not certain parts of Alan Wake you could swing right over to this and be like, yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I know the part you're talking about, and I posted about it too. That was by far the best part of the whole game to me. I love that
Yeah.
the dance sequence. But anyway, the this game. Imagine this game if they took a more violent take on it. I feel like it could be pretty appealing.
I don't I don't know. I don't think it works.
It probably
I
wouldn't work,
think
not for the fan base, but for a random
no,
person like me who has no idea about the lore.
maybe. It is- Even without the lore, just I can I had no idea about the lore when I picked up the first game. I was like, hey, this is fun. Just I get crazy weapons and occasionally stop to solve some puzzles. There's something we didn't talk about here. It's just the light puzzle
Yeah,
solving.
yeah,
That's again, it's a pretty much a staple of the games. The nature of the puzzle solving is different from game to game. So
mm,
that's something to change up as well as what weapons you have. So that's going to be your biggest differences between any of the two Ratchet titles.
yeah. I mean, and even in the nature of the puzzle solving or the exploration, when you go from Ratchet to playing as Clank, like for sure, Clank is definitely more of the puzzle solving
Yeah,
mode. Yeah. My,
yeah,
I mean, the best part for me, honestly, is like the mechanic of the bolts. Like just there being so many of them was like just
hmm
immensely satisfying.
yeah,
Just busting stuff up and getting thousands. You know.
yeah. It helps really feel like you know you don't have to get every single coin, or every single pickup because there's so many of these bolts just everywhere, and if
Yeah.
you miss a few, it's fine. You'll
Yeah.
get more.
You'll get plenty more. You'll get plenty more. Yeah.
You, as long as you're going around, pretty much you're doing some good exploration. You're checking around some corner for big stacks of boxes that you can break, get a ton of income real fast. You're going to have enough money to buy a new weapon at the end of the chapter, and that's good. That's the pace you need.
Yeah. But all those things are inspiration for me for the way I would like Channel 3 to operate. It's like you get an XP coin, that's cool, but I want it to be like and you get like you literally see all the experience points, and it's like very cleanly animated and snappy and quick and mechanically just satisfying, right? Like that's what this game does so well to me.
Yeah, it is. It is really gorgeous and smooth
It is.
for it's a PS4 title. I think we both played on PS5. There's
Mm.
no enhancement. It
Wow.
plays the
Really?
same.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's so
it's
clean.
just
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotta,
all that stuff is really nicely done. It's just very fluid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So mechanics aside, on the story, are there any points of the storyline that stand out to you that are worthy of discussion? I know we didn't play it for the story, but this is a video game book club.
Mhm.
Narratively, what's the most impactful moment of the story for you?
Um, I'd say, yeah, you almost have to like to look at the bookends. You got the very beginning where you've got Ratchet meeting Clank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is Ratchet and Clank. You know, how did these two meet? And it's such a charm just seeing those two, and kind of right away, almost Clank starts just back talking Ratchet all the time throughout the whole game, and I'm here for it. And then you get fast forward to the very, very, very end of the game, and we kind of see Captain Quark finally coming full circle from, you know, he was a bad guy. Ratchet's now going to break him out of prison and take him with him to go on their next mission together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. Just knowing that Quark becomes such a staple of the series going forward with Ratchet and Clank, that it was a great time to see that.
Yeah, the Quark is definitely the character development. The quintessential example of character development in the game for sure. That's good. The story point for me, I'm going to point out, and I just thought of one heading into this, but I found it to be kind of amusing. I think it's Captain Quark who is involved with the destruction of an entire planet, and that's the point where he's like, "Oh no, I didn't. What are you doing? I didn't know. I thought we were creating worlds, not destroying worlds, or something like that." Am I saying this right?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds on point.
I thought that was a nice little pivot point.
Quark Quark is, Quark's in it for greed, profit, power, recognition,
Yeah.
and just laziness, and not having to like be an actual hero, but claim that he is. Uh, and but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's like there's someone who's made bad choices and someone who's just actively like, no, you're just a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nuanced for sure, but overall good. And that's why he was like so upset when the planet was destroyed. The part about that just was amusing to me is they bent over backwards in the cutscenes to say that nobody was injured. The entire planet was destroyed, and they're like, but nobody was injured. But they lost all their homes. It's like, yeah, but nobody got injured.
Nobody got injured. It's fine.
I just found that so funny. It's like we're hanging on to this target audience here. Don't worry, kids. They're all fine. They got out, but all their homes were destroyed. So then that's sort of the rallying point to bring home the rest of the movie, the movie or the game.
Yeah.
All right, so as you said, I think you even said not story. You don't play for the story. You play for the weapons. I think you said earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your favorite and least favorite weapons?
I tell you what put in a lot of work for me, I am blanking on the name, the funny name. Because also the weapons have hilarious like in-game names that are not just like, but that flamethrower that you get pretty early, that thing put in a lot of work for me throughout
Really?
the whole, because it's got good AOE. Uh, a lot of times, it also is one of the earliest weapons that you get the extra currency, not just the bullets, but the raritanium from.
Mm-hmm.
And that raritanium is then turned around and used to upgrade your weapons. It's
Yeah.
one of the few weapons that gives you extra drop chance of raritanium. Combine that with just like, it's great for clearing out little swarms of enemies. There's a lot of places where you just kind of get just swarmed all of a sudden.
And is that the
Pyromancer, maybe?
Pyrosator? I have it up on the stream. I think people can see it.
Yeah,
I'm sharing it.
all this stuff.
That's so interesting that you picked that one. I didn't really use that one hardly at all.
Yeah, that's the great thing is about it. There's so many different weapons, and I tried to use a little bit, oh, the pyrocitor. Yes,
Ferocity.
yeah, as well as you could pretty much guarantee that I had a Mr. Zircon out at any given time because the kind of one of the tricks of the game is like you can put Mr. Zircon, little robot that goes around shooting things for you, and
Uh-huh.
then switch to a different weapon.
See, and even the Mr. Zircon, like these are tips I probably could have used, but I didn't really use Mr. Zircon at all until the final boss, which we'll talk in a second. But I just did,
Yeah,
I slept on Mr. Zircon. My thing, I think,
that's like that.
is Combustor the first weapon you get.
Hmm.
So I immediately
Yeah,
just
that
kept to
was
that one.
grenade.
I used that one and I just
Yeah,
upgraded it to the max.
it's
Um,
a serviceable weapon. It's good kind of basic pistol with some decent range. Uh, it I like it okay for, and it was kind of my fallback of like, I need something for mid range. I don't
mhm.
need to break out, the sniper rifle because I'm not trying to hit across the map, but I need something with, a little more range than a flamethrower.
What's the
That was
sniper rifle to you?
the plasma striker.
I feel like I play this game completely wrong.
And I don't know if the game tells you. I think so. All the weapons when you purchase them, there's a little hilarious little introduction promotional video, which is just a lovely touch. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like it's like an in-universe marketing blurb for like why you should buy the weapon.
yeah,
If you do watch those, they can tell you some tricks about them. And the plasma striker has a zoom. It's not immediately obvious when you're using it, but there's a zoom with it. And so now you've got your traditional sniper rifle. You upgrade that thing, and I think it even gets like a pierce through armor sort of modification.
that's really cool. Man, now I just want to go back and play it. Like I was spending all of my time on like one or two weapons. I
It
messed
would
up.
basically, yeah, I would basically take a weapon to level 5, I think was the maximum in this game. And as soon as the weapon hit level 5, it was done. It was benched. Like, next weapon, please.
Huh?
I would only pull it back out like if there was something like Mr. Zircon, like yeah, because it doesn't take up like an active use. Something I can kind of have on in the background, like a passive ability,
Yeah.
then go back to whatever I was trying to use. And then you get into the boss fights where you just like weapons, I'll just throw everything at the kitchen sink and I'm just like
Hmm.
desperately running out of ammo and it's like, okay, what do I have left that can possibly get this boss?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 1 second we'll talk about that final boss especially, but my favorite weapon first is a proton drum. I think
Or the Groovatron.
it's not letting
The
me.
Groovatron is the one that
The
makes them
dance thing.
disco.
Nope,
Yes.
that's not the one for me. The one
Okay.
for me is the one that you just throw and it's a big ball and it just
Yep, that's the proton drum then. Yep.
man, I love that thing.
That
I
was a good weapon. I
Yeah,
didn't use it as much, but I do love that one.
yeah,
Good the good one to like if you use your hot switch, you toss it out,
yeah,
do some here, you go distract these enemies, bounce on them. I'm gonna go
yeah,
shoot these other guys over here. Yeah.
yeah. Especially for the guys on the turret, you just throw it behind them and then make quick work.
Oh,
That's good.
those turrets are annoying.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's shift into the end game. We're gonna talk about the end game. We're gonna talk about the boss. Then we'll finish up with each of us giving our rating of the game in review, and then we'll close up shop. Heading into the boss, I didn't even know it was the final boss. And since I had focused on like one or two weapons, I had like a few weapons fully upgraded, and then I had some weapons that I never even used until the boss. It didn't feel like a great approach. It probably took me like 30 times beating the boss.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I could definitely see where that would be a pain because this boss, you're going to be short on ammo if you like all the time.
Uh huh.
So I was going through every different weapon I had and just like, but most of my weapons were like level 3, 4, or 5, so they're doing a little bit more damage. I've sunk some rare titanium into them, try to get some of those upgrades that can really turn the
Mhm.
tide of battle. Whereas, you like deep into one or two, three weapons really specialized in, then you run out of ammo for those, and then that's a bad time, that boss fight. Because that is not an easy boss fight. I think I took 3 tries. Uh,
That was gonna be my next question because I remember saying like, is it just me or was that like harder than the entire game combined? And I wasn't sure if it was you or somebody else said like, yeah, it was super hard. It took me like 3 tries. That seems like a
yeah,
very
I mean,
small amount of tries.
yeah, it's a large number of tries for a Ratchet boss relative to any other part section of the game. I don't think. I think I maybe took. Actually, it wasn't even a boss fight. I think there was a section on one of the worlds. There were like tanks coming at you, and like there's some reason that section took me like 3 tries to get through too. But
Hmm.
it wasn't a boss fight.
All right,
You know it's a boss fight when they've got a life bar. That's the ultimate trick.
there you have
This
it,
boss
folks.
fight,
If you want
you're
to,
flying around.
if you want to beat the
You got
boss in this game, you need to level up all of your weapons and don't be an idiot. And then you can beat it. 3 tries. Maybe there's going to be some challenge like beat this final boss, a quest on Channel 3. Beat the final boss with using only 2 weapons. Painful.
Yeah, that'd be tricky, and you'd have to start the recording first because that's not going to be a 30-second boss fight by any means. Even with your two best weapons, no way.
Yeah.
This boss, you gotta. And the interesting thing about it, I think, is that they took it very three-dimensional. The whole game is slightly three-dimensional, but
Yeah.
it's three-dimensional in the way like a typical Mario game is, where it's a typical Mario. You're moving around vertically, but you're not like making huge vertical movement constantly.
Yeah.
This, they slap on a jetpack, and you got to just go. You're flying up, down, left, right, all over the place. And you've got limited fuel on this jetpack too. So you're trying to manage. You're trying to dodge the boss. You're trying to watch for like where is that refuel station. And then you land on the refuel station. The boss decides to come smack it and destroy it.
Yeah, no, not only that, but there's the mines on the refuel station that suck you into
Yeah,
them, and then there's the other enemies in the air. There's the mines that float towards you in the air that you have to have enough ammo for. I mean, literally, there were probably 2 or 3 times where I was doing great, but there were too many things happening, and I didn't refuel, and I fell out of the sky. So yeah, that was a rough one.
rough way to go.
I feel,
Yeah.
and I think so. I
Uh,
think somebody's kid was playing this game with us. It might have been Desandres. I'd be curious if they finished the game. I just want to see somebody's kid doing a better job on that boss than me.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's probably kids out there that are just like, yeah, whatever. Like this was a joke.
Yeah. Well, Desandres' kid plays Elden Ring, so.
Yeah, probably not. Definitely.
All
But
right.
yeah, just moving around constantly, dodge. I will say, for as challenging as the fight was, I felt it was fun. I did enjoy that final fight. It felt like a good culmination of like we're throwing pretty much everything the game threw at you into one final package.
Yeah, it was a nice culmination, a definitely comprehensive ending. But we're real quick. We're gonna bring in Thunderpump. Thunderpump is gonna join us here.
Excellent.
There he is. It's T Pump himself. What's up, man? Oh no, we can't
I
hear
muted.
him.
We're good.
There he
You
is.
know? Yeah.
You're here just in time because we're in a little bit. We are going to go over our final rating and review of the game.
Oh, perfect. I was tagging or keeping up with it on stream, so I've been listening so far.
Oh, good. So we'll start there. I want to hear your feedback on what we've said so far.
The most recent thing that I was kind of listening and commenting, as far as along with you guys, was the with the weapons.
Yeah, what was your favorite? How did you do it?
I would have to agree with the pyrocitor, to
Really?
be honest. Especially when I was trying to 100% it. There's I forget the name of the level, but the all water one, basically. Like you could jump on the little ferry and just spin in a circle. Literally hold the trigger, spin in a circle, and you would get all the fish.
The fish that were jumping up on there.
Yeah, so that one definitely. And then again, like I said, it came in handy when I was trying to 100% it for sure. And then the one that you have to use it for one of the achievements is the Sheepinator. That one was annoyingly fun as well. Definitely enjoyed that one.
I don't think
Sheepinator, absolutely classic. You know, turn your enemies into sheep and then blow the sheep up. What's not to love?
You guys may know this, but is there a multiplayer mode for any of the Ratchet and Clanks? Because like with this weapon system is too good to not be used in some type of competitive mode.
Oh, that would be. I'm all for it, but a Ratchet and Clank Battle Royale, let's do it.
So there is a multiplayer, I want to say, in Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Ooh, witty. Look at the pun. It's like a South Park title.
I'll look it up now.
Let's see. First in the series to offer online multiplayer. The service was sadly shut down in February of 2018, finally, as it was PS3, PS2, and PS3. So
we should definitely rally to bring that back.
Yeah, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Insomniac Games. If you're listening,
they're definitely watching.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, if not now, they'll be watching the VOD. It's kind of like GoldenEye, where multiplayer was an afterthought and was thrown in after. I'm telling you, get a resurgence going for Ratchet and Clank 2016 multiplayer battle royale.
The online multiplayer had deathmatch, capture the flag, and siege.
That sounds so fun.
I could definitely see it being like an Overwatch.
Yeah, it does have, the weapons have that kind of feel for sure.
Eight player multiplayer back in the PS2 era, which I can only imagine how it worked.
Like on one hand, I do think it's really cool, but on the other hand, I think that there are probably anti-battle royale, anti-multiplayer people out there like, no, that's sacrilege. Like, you're ruining it. That's not what it's about. Don't make everything into that. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, Thunderpup, did you play? Was this your only Ratchet and Clank game? Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never played. I didn't play the original. I haven't played Rift Apart, and I don't know if you guys mentioned it or commented on it, but I kind of agreed with you, Joel, as far as like, I didn't want to pick up Rift Apart right away and continue the story. I feel like if it was a standalone and this was the only one they ever did, I would be satisfied with the whole story and the way it ended and the gameplay. But I hear that Rift Apart is supposed to be better. That's like the only thing that makes me a little interested to want to play it, but I wasn't like, oh, I got to get on to the next one now.
You know what? But if you were 9 years old, then what would you
exactly?
think?
You're not wrong with that. If I was a kid and I was into it, I definitely would have been a little more intrigued to get onto the next one.
And I don't mean to sound like a hater either, because I actually really, really did enjoy it, and I understand for what it's worth. And also, when I played Super Mario Wonder, the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, this is a children's game. But I'm having a good time. I enjoy it.
And I think that's what I'm playing Cuphead right now. So that's what kind of, when you first get into it, obviously knowing a little bit about it and reading reviews before I got into it, if I didn't know that it was as hard of a game as it is, I would have been extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
But I agree with you as far as like if I was a child, I would definitely have probably enjoyed the game a little bit more. I think the only thing that kept me on it was wanting to platinum it.
And did you?
Yes.
All right, you both did, right?
Painstakingly.
I had platinumed this back in 2016. On this replay on my second account, I did not go for the platinum this time.
Yeah.
I definitely would not platinum it twice. That's for sure.
I did sort of challenge myself. I was like, just like trying to, just without using any sort of guides or walkthroughs, just like, do I remember largely like where the gold vaults are? That's like, they're hidden. I feel like that's something we don't really talk about. There's these optional collectibles that really don't do anything for you unless you're gonna go platinum, and they're hidden like just barely out of the way a lot of the time. It's like kind of a reward for like being thorough in your exploration.
Yeah.
So I got like, I want to say, was there like 24 of them or something? I think I found, or 30. I found like 17. I did found like 75% or something is what I remember finding. I was like, I'm okay with that for like a second play several years later here.
You know, I mean, it's a total different mentality when you're going after that stuff. I think I probably would have enjoyed that aspect of it more had I done it. But instead, I was just, you know, sort of rushing through it. I think I probably found like 8 or 9 or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so there are just, if you do want to actually follow the story, there are a ton of games between this and Rift Apart, because this is the remake of the original game.
Yeah.
So chronologically, this is way back at the beginning. There's 2 other games of the PS2 era, then there's a trilogy of the PS3 era, and then there's a couple of PS4 games before you finally get to Rift Apart here.
And that kind of just
Rift
shows
Apart.
also like where I kind of took a break from gaming.
Yeah.
As far as like
Same.
year-wise, like
Yeah.
I didn't know that. To be honest, I thought it was the original, the remake, and Rift Apart. I had no idea that there was anything else in between it.
Dude, it says it on Channel 3. It says in the description, which we get from Wikipedia or whatever. I'll put it on the screen for anybody who's watching. It says, it is the 15th installment in the series, a reimagining of the first game, as well as being based on the 2016 film of the same name.
And I knew there was a film. I never, again, I wasn't really into Ratchet and Clank until the book club, and so I had known about the movie, but it was nothing that I was like, oh, I gotta go watch that. But after playing this game, I think I could sit through a movie better than playing through the game again.
Yeah, man. With kids your age, you could do that.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old and the Lion who's 12, I don't think I could do it, but yeah. You got it. Well, we've dipped our toes into the series at least, so now we kind of have a feel for what it's like, which I feel is important. As video game connoisseurs and critics, we've done that. So now let's get into the ratings. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a fun way to do this. Let's go. Let's count down 3, 2, 1, and then we'll all say our rating out of 5 stars at the same time. Is that cool?
All right.
You guys ready? All right. Here we go. I already feel guilty. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 3.
3.5.
4 stars.
All right.
I give it a 3.5. Yeah, I think.
I thought you guys were both going to say 5.
No, definitely not a 5. It's good. Again, if I were younger, I probably would have rated it a little bit higher. I think the replayability is there. Maybe more for the younger crowd, but I feel like us as adults, I mean, once we're done, we're done. You know what I'm saying? Again,
Yeah.
Even with the platinum, I had to really force myself. I'm not normally a completionist, but I feel like towards the end of the game, I was like, okay, I'm kind of close to platinuming this. I could do it. But, but yeah, I think it's got, especially with the new Game Plus and all that stuff that they have out, it's a little bit easier to replay stuff. Like he mentioned earlier, you can only get to level 5, and then once you're done with that, you can, for platinum, you can get to, or with the new Game Plus, you can get them to 10.
Yeah.
And so that does make it a little bit more enjoyable. I feel like the story is easy to follow. It's not all over the place. I would be lying if I said after the first go around that I wasn't skipping through the cutscenes. I mean, I've already seen this. I don't need to watch it again. But I wish there was a way that you could, like, in the settings where you could auto skip cutscenes if you've played it more than once. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
But genuinely enjoyable. But again, I don't, definitely not a 5.
I respect that. InfoCynic, go. Justify thyself.
4 stars. So, yeah, this is a great game that's a lot of fun to play, and I don't have a huge desire to go back and pick it up again. It was fun. So this was my second play, as noted. 7-8 years here between plays. a good time to space it out. Like I felt like I remembered largely the story beats, but not enough to really be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. Tons of fun. Just I love Ratchet and Clank as a series. I've played not all of them by any means, certainly not all
Mhm.
15, but I've played kind of the main story ones, like the ones that are basically developed by Insomniac. They kind of farm it off to some other studios now and then, I think, and
Makes sense.
they all kind of just you can see the polish. You can see like this is a great remake too. Just as I talked about before, we got beautiful art, we got crazy weapons, we got everything I'm signing up for when I'm going to play a Ratchet game.
Yeah.
So helps that I've played other Ratchet games. I know what I'm walking into. This fulfilled exactly what I want out of a Ratchet game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Doesn't get 5 stars. I think there are better Ratchet games. I would say my favorite being Crack in Time, which is the third trilogy. So not actually the 6th game because spin-offs again, but I like the puzzle solving aspects a little bit more in a Crack in Time. And I just think by that point, like, you're really getting their stride. You're talking like 6 mainline games. They know what they're doing. They've got a formula. They're really evolving it. They're doubling down on it. That said, it's still a great game. Lots of fun. Absolutely. And you know what? Recommend it. Like, that's another thing. 4 stars is, I'm not hesitating to recommend this to someone.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's well said. I feel even worse about my 3-star rating, but that's what I gave it on channel 3.
You should.
So, as I should. But so that's what I'll say now, and just to justify it, that's like the rating for me. Like, I feel like if I was rating it like as an actual reviewer for the overall population, I really respect what they did here. It's a work of art. It's really nicely done. It's exactly what you said is so true. It's exactly what you would expect to get out of a game like this. And the one thing I would say is that when I play games like this as an adult, I'm like, man, I wish this was like the first game I ever played, like as a kid. You would have like such feelings of nostalgia towards this. It's like so amazing versus the games, that we all grew up with that are like, they don't have the crazy, insane graphics and experience that a game like this has, but still. Yeah. All right. Well, we're running out of time. We're going to wrap it up. My dog's crying. She needs to go outside. Thank you, InfoCynic. Thank you, Thunderpump. We're going to keep the video game book club going. If there are people that are watching and want to be involved, go to channel3.gg. We have a video game book club. We play one game at a time. Right now, the official, unofficial game is Stray. Thunderpump, you're playing, right?
So I have played it before. I did finish it a while back. But this is one that I feel like I can do again. Especially having a reason to do it. I want to see if I can complete it a little bit faster than the first time. I think it took me just a little over 5 hours.
All right.
And I did it in one sitting. So my plan is to do it later on in the month, and I want to just stream the whole thing.
You did it. You did it in one sitting the first time?
Yeah.
Wow. I play games so differently. Like, I just need a little bit of a break, or I would like keep doing the same crap over and over again.
See, I tend to do a little bit of research before I get into a game, especially something like this. Like, I knew that it was a shorter game, so I looked up like the average runtime. Okay, yeah. I could probably do this in one sitting, and I went ahead and knocked it out. But I do plan on trying to stream the whole thing later on this month. Give a couple people. I know Smeagol has it, so I want to give him some time to get through it before I do that.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He's in the chat, so no spoilers on Stray for sure until we discuss it, and then we'll spoil the crap out of it. But yeah, one of the early parts, I was kind of banging my head against the wall. I was unable to figure it out, but I finally did. So I wasted so much time. So I hear you. But I was looking up the trophies for things because it was like, what's the quest on Channel 3 of the funniest trophy name? And I saw there's a trophy for Stray for beating it in under 2 hours.
That honestly, that seems so hard.
Yeah.
Like, just from what I remember, that's an insane amount of just getting through things. Like, you can't enjoy the game if you play it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's such a well-made game.
Yeah. I'm just walking.
Speedrun trophies rarely are. I mean, they're not meant to be ways to enjoy the game.
Yeah. It's just stressful. It's like cardio.
All right, you guys have stolen me. I'm gonna do it, but maybe not next time. I already promised my next up slot, so it has to go into my on deck slot after that.
What's your next slot? Tell us.
Rent the version of Lost Crown.
All right, cool.
I played the demo of that. That one's it was fun for sure. You'll like that one.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you both. We'll let you go. Thanks everybody who tuned in on the stream. We will see you out there on channel3.gg. Thank you all so much.
All right. See you later.
Later. See ya. End the call for everyone. I'm gonna go face only view for a second. We'll see if this is gonna work. It's not gonna work because my my face cam is hooked up to the Google. Give me a second. I am going to see who we should raid. Don't worry about the dark screen. Let me see. Do we have something? No, that's not it. We'll just put this on. Season 9 direct starting soon as I figure out who to raid. Thank you all for joining, though. Appreciate it. Hopefully that was entertaining-ish for you, even if you did not play the game. Crag is live. We will go ahead and raid Crag, son of Horus, because Crag is live at the top of channel3.gg. Because you may not know this, but Crag is turbo because of a gifted turbo from J Davies III at James. Can I just do this? God, I cannot. Hold on. I forgot the slash. Give me a second. Yeah, we're gonna do a season 9 direct redo. I did just release the release notes though. So you do have those that you can check out. We're gonna go raid Crag. Tell him what's up. Say hi. All right, GG's everybody. Bye.